Okay, I'm gonna show you a little tutorial on how I make my maps in 3ds Max or Command and Conquer Renegade. Uh, I have no real concept drawings or anything that really work off here. I literally just sat down and decided to do this. So the map I'm about to make, don't expect anything too extreme. I'm just gonna make a little deathmatch map. I usually start off with just a plane, and if you right click your perspective view here, you'll see this little option for edge faces. I would always suggest having those on. Really lets you see what you're looking at here. Now I'm going to increase the amount of segments along the plane on each side. Doesn't really matter. It's just going to help me do alpha blending later. The shading will work a lot better, and this will also help me make my shape. Okay, I'm gonna convert it to editable poly, and I'm just gonna make a little shape, something that might look like the ground of. I'm just gonna make some kind of little cavey rock ledge all around you, deathmatch, small, tiny little room. Maybe a couple pillars in the middle, something like that. Just gonna make it a little bit different all the way around, something to look at. Okay, now as you can see here, you got kind of a basic little floor. Now if you use your loop tool here, which is very great little tool, you can see I just selected one little edge and looped all the way around my mesh, and that's very useful. If I use the extrude button here, it'll do this, but it'll also uh, come in on my mesh. Kind of gives like an angle if you want to stick out or not. Now this could work usually for cliffs, but it tends to try to come in on you, and you can't really get very good results. Like if I hit apply here, see it, you can see in this top window here, it's actually leaning in, and the only thing you can really do besides selecting each one of those polys individually is kind of scale it out, and that usually just kind of makes you can obviously see what was done to make it do that. So what I'm going to do is I can leave my normal plane, and I'm going to use Chafer. Now, it's kind of hard to see from this zoomed out, but you can see it added a second line all the way around. I'm going to hit OK for that. One's fine, whatever you feel like. I'm going to use my edge tool here. Select this tiny little line there. Use my ring tool, and it will select those lines all the way around my mesh without having to do anything. Alright, now if you hit the control key, hold it down, and then select your polygon tool, you'll see that it converted my selection to faces. Now this is going to give me a lot better for extrudes. I can just sit there and extrude it up, hit apply, get a little excuse me, variation length, hit apply again, and now you see we have a pretty nice straight line wall. It's perfectly flat, and we're going to go through and make it look more rocky, give it a little bit more of a terrain cliffy look. So what I'm going to do is go back to my vertex selector, select only the walls, and just for a little starter, I'm going to give it some noise. Noise is a great way to make it look deformed, just some random looking walls. Okay, so noise, and actually first, before you do that, sorry, I would go and select, and this is okay if you want to keep it this way, but this is a good polygon saver for larger maps. Just select one length of your thing, hit the ring tool, it'll select them all the way around, face tool again, oop, got a messenger window there. Okay, then just hit the delete key once you have them all selected. Now you see it keeps your interface, the interface of the wall, but deletes the back side of the wall. That way you don't have a bunch of polygons that'll never be seen. Okay, now where am I going? Oh yeah, noise. Okay, so reselect your polygons or your vertexes. Go to noise. Z's mostly what you'd use here, just because it takes it and gives it waves makes it so the top's not perfectly flat, stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and exit my messengers just in case I don't want any more interruptions. Should have done it in the first place, but we're too far in now. Okay, little X, some Y, and just give it some nice variation. And after you get something that you like, I'm not really going to look at it. I'm just going to convert it back to mesh. And then it'll take off, clear out your modifiers. If you want to keep them, that's fine. But I don't want to have to fight it all for the rest of this tutorial. Okay, so you see it's looking a little bit more wavy now. There's just some different variation there. If you want to, you can go through here, select some of these meshes, pull them out, make them look like more overhangs. Interruptions today. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here and I'll come back on in just a second. Alright, back to it. Okay, so you can see here you just got a kind of open face here, just random terrain. I'm going to go ahead and see what this will look like. I'm going to extrude or scale the top layer out to kind of make it look like it's going away a little bit. Let's give it a little bit of an outward slope. Go ahead and do the middle one too. And it kind of looks like a little bit of a rocky interior. You would normally want to take your time, but file size and of the video, I'm going to go ahead and just leave this as it be. Generally want to stay away from it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here while I do that. Okay, so the cave walls are pretty much how I'd want them. I mean, they're not spectacular, but they're good enough for tutorial speaking. You can go through, and I'm pretty sure you can handle doing it. Just pull them out, make them look more rocky, give them a little bit more detail. Something on them makes them look a little different. And this floor, yeah, you don't. It needs more polys, but you don't want to start off with more than this. Otherwise, your walls surrounding it will be extremely high. There, and that'll give a nice little slope leading out. Now on this floor, I'm going to go ahead and change the color of the model, just so I can see the edged lines a little bit better. You can see it a little bit in more detail. Alright, since this is going to be a small little map, you're going to need some obstacles in the room here. So I'm going to select some of these floor polygons and just kind of drag them into a generic rock base. You can see it's kind of a circle. I can select these faces, go down here, use the bevel tool. You can just watch it in this screen up here to see how high it's really going. Use your bevel tool to scale it in or out. For this, I'm going to go ahead and do out. Make sure you change the height on each extrude too to make it give a little variation. A little in, a little out. Then since it's starting to get as high as my terrain height here, go ahead and see what, move my camera up a little bit, see what looks okay.